Hey everyone, it's Leandra at New Vocations Racehorse Adoption Program, and today for our Trainer Tip Tuesday, we're going to be talking about personality, both yours and your horse, and how that might play a role in how you choose an appropriate match. So it might seem like it should go without mentioning, but it's worth mentioning that every horse has a very different personality. They're individuals, and they're all going to be different. And this is important in considering the horse that you choose, because we will see the whole range. You know, it's fortunate we have lots of different horses who are able to help and serve in our program, and so we'll see all these different personality types. If you're confused about the different personality types, it might be just as simple as watching them in turnout and remarking on how they interact with each other. So we know that horses will find different places in the herd hierarchy. There are natural leaders and there are natural followers. So even in considering that one's different, is a horse a leader, is a horse a follower, where do they fall naturally in their comfort levels? Now, there might be one ultimate leader, but then there might be some who are fiending for that spot, and there is a spectrum, of course, but these roles will also help us to understand the horse and how they function when we work with them and in creating a partnership with them and in training with them, everything along the way. So with me here today, in case you're wondering, this is Cape Angel, who we call Benny, and he's just been adopted, so he's no longer available for adoption, but he is a great example of a horse who's more of a follower. He likes to be a follower, he's comfortable there, and so he actively seeks somebody to be a leader, and that's not just in the field, of course, but under saddle as well. He's happy to take instruction, he's comfortable there, that's something that he feels is his place, and he's happy there. So, and he can be kind of naughty, just like any of them, but in considering that, just as using him as an example, that he would do really well in a role where he can be led. And this is maybe where he's not going to be asked to be a leader. So even just on a trail ride, you know, where he's pretty confident and is not a very spooky horse, so he could be up front, but maybe he's not most comfortable there. Maybe he likes to lead, so it could be stressful for him. So just even thinking about when you're working with a horse like that, or say you have, like, he probably wouldn't love to be in a really competitive role. It's just not where he feels comfortable. So that's something that we can realize from him, just even in watching the way that he sort of naturally is and where he likes to be, and thinking about that, because if you consider a horse's personality, it's really likely that they will also excel in those places when we're tapping into the things that they like to do and they want to do, just like with people. So similarly, when we're considering partnering with a horse, if you're picking out a horse for adoption, you want to this is a very versatile type. Oh, I know you're very itchy. It's also very important to realize that when we can remark on a horse, whether it's for the levels that we have online or we're looking at their personality, that these are living things, they're not stagnant, and it's really important to, consider your expectations when you're going into horse adopting or horse purchasing or just taking on another living thing. Is that you can see maybe that Benny is being a little bit mouthy. He's not really doing anything threatening. He's not actually trying to bite me. I know, he's just being playful. So I'm going to try to sort of put distance between him and myself when he's acting like that, protect myself and correct it, because I'm not going to interact with him, but I'm not reprimanding him because this is not really his true personality. He's not threatening. He's trying to play. He's bored. So it's important to know your horse's personality, even for things like that, because you know how to correctly approach him. He might be very offended because he's more of a sensitive type if I really tried to get after him in a strong way. Obviously, you have to adjust based off situations. So another type of personality quality or trait to pay attention to is thinking about how your horse handles new situations. We all know that some horses are more spooky than others, and some are more curious. So while every horse naturally should, as a survival instinct, have a reflex to be afraid, and that's okay and that's natural, that different horses will handle different situations with a different mindset. So some might, even if they initially spook, might approach something that might be scary or they could feel as threatening or dangerous in some sort of way, that they might be cautious but then go to approach it. And other horses might need a little bit longer. They might appreciate things like repetition. They might need that consistency to really feel comfortable. So it's not to say that a spooky horse cannot become consistent. It's just that they might do better in a situation where they know their job, they feel comfortable, they've had repetition, there are not a lot of variables that could change. And then a horse who's more curious might need some different diversity, some variability in their life, or they can get bored. So things like that are really critical to consider. And then also, like I kind of touched on before, it's important to consider your own needs. Are you more energetic? Are you, somebody with a lower energy? You kind of want to find a partner who's going to balance out your qualities and you're going to be able to work with effectively. Like I said, it's not going to ultimately determine your success or failure. It just might make things easier or might help you at least to understand where you can work on things, where you can improve things, or identify the areas that might be potential weaknesses. So those are just some things to consider when you're looking to pick out a partner and to help you in transitioning these guys, having hopefully a very advantageous relationship overall with them. But it is certainly important to consider that they are all individuals, as are we. And so just like with any sort of relationship, you're going to need to consider both ends of the partnership for an optimal result. So thank you so much for joining me today on this Trainer Tip Tuesday. I know. And hopefully you'll join us for future videos. Thank you.